In this video, I am going to provide you with a cost comparison between a couple of fences, or should I say the amount of boards required for an 8-foot section of fencing. You can do your own math. I have no idea what the prices are in your area or what they're going to be in the future. However, by the time you finish watching this video, I think you're going to have a pretty good idea about whether or not you want to build a standard fence like this one here with gaps in the middle that your neighbors can see through, or whether you want to build a total privacy fence. And let's start with pointing out that this board here is 8 foot long. And even though this board here starts even with it, this one here looks like it's a little bit short of it. And the same is going to hold true in the rest of the examples. So I'm not going to be providing you with specific spot-on measurements in each one of the examples. So let's go ahead and start with a standard fence. 5.5-inch boards. We have an 1/8 of an inch gap in the middle, providing us with a fence that is going to require 17 fence boards. In our next example, we're going to build a privacy fence that is going to require 21 boards, or 4 more fencing boards to create about an 8-foot long section. So we're simply going to install these boards here 9 inches on center. So the center of this board here to the center of this board is going to be 9 inches. And with that, we're going to have a 3.5-inch gap in between each board, providing us with a 1-inch overhang on each side of this fencing board here, providing us with plenty of room to nail the fencing boards together and get a nail through this board, into this board, and then maybe into the other 2x4 also, and providing us with a fence you cannot see through. In our next example, we are going to space the fencing boards a little farther apart, providing us with a 4-inch gap in between each one of these boards here, and a 3/4 inch overlap on each side. Still enough room to drive a nail through, even if you're going to be angling it. And of course, in this example here, we are going to use 1 board less. Here we're going to have 20 boards in about an 8-foot span. But we can't stop there. Let's go ahead and make the gap a little wider. 4.5 inches between each board, providing us with a 1/2 inch overlap on each side. Now I'm going to leave it up to you as to how far apart you want to space your boards and how much money you want to save on your fencing project, because this one right here only requires 2 more boards. We have 19 boards here, and in my area in the year 2022, the fence boards are about $3.50 each, providing you with an additional cost of about $7 more for total privacy if you're not interested in your neighbors looking through your fence. And the last thing I want to point out in this video is that I know a lot of people email me, they ask me questions about fencing, especially when it comes to some of my videos on the post holes, the concrete around the wood posts, and whether or not to use other materials. And the same thing holds true here. If you want to spend a few more dollars, you can usually create a stronger fence, and as I showed you in this video, a fence that will provide you with more privacy. So a lot of the questions that I end up answering in my videos and that are emailed to me usually have something to do with spending more money on your fence and what you're actually going to get as an end result. So hopefully that helps, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment area, along with any suggestions you might have about building better privacy fences.